For those of you watching, we're just waiting for them to finish up a little bit something, and then we'll go to the presser. Yeah. I got it. But if you want to use the camera, you can take pictures with it. I don't mind. Because this one get closer than that one.
All right, thank you very much, John and Josh. And yeah, what a venue for this special Bellator MMA press conference here on the terrace of the Grammy Museum. And yeah, the hits keep coming for Bellator MMA, undertaking its most robust and ambitious schedule in promotional history. 5 events over the next 5 weeks, 5 championship fights over the next 2 weekends alone. It gets underway this Friday, Bellator 277, the main event, the much anticipated rematch between featherweight champion AJ McKee and the man who took the title away from the most decorated fighter in Bellator history, Patricio Pitbull. We will also see the final of the light heavyweight World Grand Prix between champion Vadim Nemkov and Corey Anderson. Following weekend, back-to-back nights in Hawaii featuring 2 title fights and the beginning of the Bellator MMA Bantamweight World Grand Prix. And if you look ahead, May 6th, it's a Friday night, City of Lights, where Ryan Bader and Chet Congo will run it back for the heavyweight crown, looking to, well, turn each other's lights out. The following week, we will be in London, England, MVP's backyard. Michael Venom Page taking on Logan Storley. Storley looking for a storybook ending in the biggest fight of his career. June 24th, we return to our home away from home, Mohegan Sun, as Gegard Mousasi, without a doubt, one of the best to ever step foot into a cage or ring. He took the undefeated record of Austin Vanderford in his last title defense. He'll be looking to do the same against Johnny Eblin. And hey, Ireland, your eyes better be smiling. We're coming back to Dublin in September. Woo! Hey, I'm never without breath, and boy, Scott Coker, president of Bellator MMA, I mean, it is an embarrassment of riches. It is a bonanza for Bellator MMA fans. You've been doing this for nearly 30 years. Have you ever been this busy?
Well, I tell you, this is a very busy schedule for us. And really, it's a testament to our TV deal with Showtime, who airs all these amazing fights. I'd like to thank Steven Espinoza, thank David Nevins. But really, it's a testament to how far this roster has come. This roster is unbelievable now. We've been building this roster for the last 5 or 6 years since I've been here. And now, to me, it's the best roster we've had. It's some of the best roster in all of MMA. And we look at these tournaments we've been throwing, they're stacked. These fight cards have been stacked. And we're going to put on 5 fights, like the 5 world title fights, or in 3 events. It's a very busy time for Bellator.
And while we adore our California love, home base San Jose returning there Friday, I gotta say, having been a part of it across boxing, pro wrestling, and MMA, something special about those international crowds, especially in Europe. We talked about going back to Paris and London and announcing a return to Dublin. Any other market internationally that we are going to go to in 2022?
Well, like you said, we're going back to Paris, May 6th, May 13th, London, Dublin, and we're talking to Sagibara. Maybe at the end of the year, we might have something in Japan, do another co-promotion like we did in 19, which was very successful for both parties. But next year, we're going to have a brand new slate of international territories, which I don't want to get to now. But this is not a local, just domestic brand. Bellator is an international brand. We have fights all over the world. We're aired in 160 countries, and we're crushing it internationally at all these gates and all these television deals we have, BBC, Virgin. We just signed a new deal in Italy. We signed a new deal in Southeast Asia. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's rolling, and I feel really good about it. I feel really good about where we're headed, and this is just the beginning.
Well, you know, it's interesting because you and I been working together for many years. We have a big fondness for what goes on in the land of the rising sun. You were inspired by the K1 and Pride Fighting Championships World Grand Prix. You've made them a staple of your promotional tenure in Strikeforce and here in Bellator MMA. And over the next couple of weeks, we conclude the $1 million light heavyweight World Grand Prix this Friday in San Jose. Vadim Nemkov defending the title against Corey Anderson. And the following weekend in Hawaii, we will begin the Bellator Bantamweight World Grand Prix. And yes, Sergio Pettis, defending champion, he is out with an injury. We have, of course, the replacement fight here. Number 1 ranked contender Juan Archuleta has joined us. Number 3 ranked contender Rafion Stotts. But it really speaks to the depth of the division that you were able to seamlessly continue with this Grand Prix.
Yeah, injuries are always an issue from time to time in this business, or it's fighting. It just happens. Things get heavy in training. People get hurt. But when you look at this bantamweight division, honestly, we have so much depth in this division. Felt really good. We got a couple of wild cards on Friday, which will be not this Friday, but the following Friday in Hawaii. It's a free show for the military, the first responders, lifeguards. Please come to the Blaisdell Arena. You guys will be admitted for free. Just show your ID. And we have the wildcard fights. Whoever wins those fights will go into our June 24th event, and they will be into the tournament. But we've got a great lineup of tournament fights coming up, and I'm really excited. It's going to be a good show.
All right, well, obviously want to thank all of the members of our esteemed media for being here today, and of course thank these great fighters on stage. And without further ado, I want to get to Bellator 279 as we will return to Hawaii, not this weekend, but next weekend. And the main event will be Chris Cyborg, the legendary Brazilian fighter who is perfect 4-0 with 3 knockouts and a submission in her Bellator MMA tenure as a featherweight champion. And she will defend against the number 1 ranked Arlene Blanco. And Arlene, don't worry, I'm not going to subject you to cruel and unusual punishment by singing happy birthday, but I will wish you a happy birthday today. Arlene's 39th birthday, and happy birthday to you on behalf of all of us here at Bellator MMA. Chris, I want to start with you. It was against Blanco that you recorded the first submission win of your legendary career. At this stage of your incredible career, how many more firsts are you looking forward to?
I really train really hard. Thank you for everyone being here. And I always want to go to step to the octagon. I want to be the show and make the show, make the best fights for the people, and encourage other girls to be a fighter too. So, I was the first fight we had together. I was planning to get a first submission. We really trained really hard for that. But maybe this was gonna be different way.
What keeps you hungry? I mean, here you are having conquered every promotion that you've been in, still at the top of your game, obviously have someone who would love revenge, but what keeps you hungry at this stage of your career?
A lot of people asking me the same question.
Well, thank you. I love to hear too.
Yes, I love to fight, and another thing, I always want to be the champion, yes, but to be the champion in people's hearts for me is the most important. Because the belt maybe I hold today, maybe I'm not going to hold tomorrow, but in the people hearts I'm the champion. So I like to continue share my faith, continue help the community, continue promoting my event in Brazil, and they open the door for another fighters. So this is motivated every day. When I step the cage, I just know step with Cyborg, step bring my team, step people around the world that help, and yes, I continue having my heart to fire. I'm continue going to fight.
Awesome. Arlene, again, happy birthday to you. Obviously, no need to ask you what you want for your birthday, but what changes, what adjustments have you been making, knowing that you do get another opportunity at becoming a champion?
I just want that belt. Basically, whenever I'm fighting a fighter that's ranked below me, I bring a mongrel to the cage. I don't let them take my ranking, and that's the same mongrel that I've got to take into the cage next weekend. I want that belt. I've been chasing that belt for 5 years now. This is my 3rd attempt. And I've got to bring the mongrel to the cage and take the belt from the champion. That's what I've got to do.
What is it like facing someone like Chris Cyborg, who will go down as one of the greatest of all time?
It's what I've chased my whole career. Chris has been at the top. Her name's been there. It's a fight that I've always wanted. So the fact that I get to rematch her and get another run at it, this is the pinnacle of my career. Taking that belt on the 23rd and becoming the Bellator World Champion is the pinnacle of my career. Nothing will be bigger than that. Fighting Chris Cyborg and beating her and becoming the Bellator World Champion is the pinnacle.
Winner of 5 over the last 6, looking to bring the Thunder from down under. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready for this weekend. This weekend I'm ready.
So I know two other fighters who are ready with the Bellator Bantamweight World Grand Prix on deck beginning in Hawaii 1 week. Well, 2 weeks from now, actually. Juan Archuleta, #1 contender. You defeated Patchy Mix for the vacant bantamweight title. Were dethroned by Sergio Pettis in your first defense, and now you replace Pettis in the bantamweight Grand Prix. You're always going to be in the Great 8, but now you're taking the champion spot against a guy who's won 9 straight in Rafion Stotts. Talk about this opportunity and talk about what it's like to face a guy like Stotts.
Well, we can hear it right now, the sirens are blaring, right? Like, he already called the cops because he already knows he's in trouble, so it looks like I'm about to get arrested. But I'm very honored. You know, one man's loss, and unfortunately, coming into this sport is another man's gain, and that's what this opportunity presents. You know, staying ready, being ready. Just the moment I lost my title, I've been itching to get it back. You know, and to have this opportunity, I'm truly grateful to fight in Hawaii in front of a crowd that is the fighting Hawaiians. You know, it's gonna be fireworks come fight night.
Rafion, I know you weren't very pleased with the original matchup, knowing that you would take on a teammate of Rufus Sport and the champion Sergio Pettis. Obviously, you're not pleased that he's now injured and out for could be up to 9 months. Talk about what the emotional roller coaster that you've had to go on just getting ready for this tournament.
Man, so it started out like you're fighting in Hawaii. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, I gotta fight, you know? Then it's like, okay, you're fighting for the title. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You know, I gotta fight my homie Sergio. So it's like, it's definitely bittersweet. You know, I feel for Sergio. You know, he's definitely a champion. But I'm super excited, you know, now. You know, it went from down to like, dang, it sucks, Sergio, to fight somebody I don't really care for in Juan Archuleta. You know, I feel like he's an excuse machine. So I get to, you know, set or punch him in the excuse machine in his mouth. So I'm super excited to do that, and I'm super excited to be here.
All right, on that note, we're going to open it up. Media questions to the fighters and Mr. Coker here on the stage.
Question for Chris. Chris, when you have such a great performance against Arlene the first time around, just what do you approach in the gym in terms of how you're going to take this rematch and what you want to do out there and accomplish?
No, I believe like a rematch, you have to work harder. You know, I know sometimes because you win the fight, you feel comfortable. I'm not. I train really hard to keep that belt. And you know, the fight when I fight her, I feel confident in strike, but you know, I have to go to the ground. And while we were she felt my punch. I saw her face. So I believe I had a lot of options to the fight. I had 5 rounds to finish the fight. So just had patience and see the moment, the time right, and that's it.
For Arlene, just how do you approach this one? Obviously, you go back to the gym, you go back to the lab, you know you have things you need to change. When you approach the rematch, can you just talk a little bit about the preparation and how you take that experience now?
Yeah, I had an awesome preparation the first time round. You know, I've got great coaches back in Australia, great coaches here in America at Jackson Wink. I've just spent the last 4 weeks there. I'll finish a 5-week fight camp over there. Yeah, honestly, my coaches have said it my whole career. I've always had what it takes to be the champion, and really it's just the belief in myself. And I've grown a lot over the past few years. My past 2 performances have shown that. It's just every time I get in the cage, I'm a better fighter, and you know, that's what the commentators say too with the fights. I'm getting better and better, and like I said just before, this is the pinnacle of my career. So I need to show up on the night and perform. That's what I've got to do.
For Rafion, just can you talk a little bit about the change in opponents and how your preparation changed going from Sergio to now Juan?
Yeah, so I feel like Sergio is definitely my toughest opponent that I can face. You know, I've been with him for years, and I know, you know, what he puts into it. He knows what I put into it. We know where our strengths lie. Where it comes to Juan Archuleta, I feel like there's a change, and just because, I mean, I don't know a lot about him, you know, I don't know a lot about him personally, but I know that he's not a person that seeks out a fight. You know what I mean? I feel like he's a person who kind of tries to find his way around, being in like a real fight. So I'm excited to like bring a fight to him. You know what I mean? I'm excited to just be in there with him and like make him feel my presence. You know what I mean? So that's where I feel like the preparation kind of differs. I feel like technically I'm better than him. I feel like I'm stronger, I'm faster, But also we get to find out on a fight where, like, I don't know for sure, you know, and that's like what's fun for me. I get to find out, like, are you real or not? You know, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out real soon.
My final question for Scott Coker. You obviously mentioned the possibility of co-promoting with Ryzen later this year. Have there been any talks with any other companies about the possibility of co-promotion this year?
No, just, Ryzen, we've done a couple, 2 or 3 fights in Japan with Sakibara, but he's somebody that I've known, since the young Pride, and I had strike force and we worked together, sent fighters back and forth. So there's a certain amount of trust there, and, once a year we talk about doing something big, and I think that we're going to try our best to make it happen. Again, I'm going to meet him in Hawaii in 2 weeks, and we're going to have a sit down, and, see if we can put together.
Question back here.
Yeah, Juan, you were saying back here, you were saying that since you lost the title, you've been itching to get back, but you have a chance to win $1 million too. So I'm curious, what is more of your motivation, winning the big money or getting the rematch with Sergio?
Thanks for your question. Yeah, man, I mean, I've been off since June, right? And been knocking on the door for a fight. Nothing presented itself until the Grand Prix got brought up. And it's awesome because now not only do I get to fight a guy that's obviously hates me, but I get to go and win my title back and then run through the division again and fight the true champion and defend the belt against Sergio and let him know that first fight was a mistake and my losses was his game.
There's already been a little bit of trash talk at the dais, saying that you're an excuse machine and that you evade a fight. Did you know that there was any of this bad blood already? Where did that come from? And how does that motivate you more, knowing that there's a little bit of blood going on there?
Yeah, I think that's just insecurities on his part, which is all good, And then I didn't know. I mean, excuse me, I have no idea what he's talking about to begin with. You could ask Scott Coker up here, anyone he's put in front of me. I've signed the contract and I've never asked for any other fight besides the one he's presented to me, and I've signed at every dotted line that he's given to me.
Scott, you guys haven't traditionally done a whole lot of interim titles. I know there was the heavyweight recently, but what was the reasoning behind putting an interim title in this tournament?
When we think about Pettis' situation, I mean, he's going to be out for maybe 9 months to a year, right? That means that the belt will be frozen, and we told these guys this is going to be 5-round fights, and the title's going to continue. So we said, look, we're going to make this an interim title fight, and then that will continue on, and then whoever's the interim title at the end that wins the $1 million will fight Sergio Pettis probably the first quarter of next year.
And last time you guys went to Hawaii, there was actually a little bit of an issue with the timekeeper in the commission. Has all of that been straightened out? There was a fight that was actually affected by poor timekeeping in the prelims. I'm curious if you guys have the ability to make sure there's no oversight next time around.
Well, I do know that there's a new commission there, and we'll definitely have a conversation with them about that, but I wasn't aware of that situation, but we'll look into it.
Yeah, it was the French fighter, Pierre Gabazon. The round was actually started late and he only fought about 3 minutes in the first round.
Oh, what's going on? I had a question for Cyborg. 5th fight in the promotion. You're now going through another rematch. You're almost like lapping the division again. How do you stay motivated at the top, going through these fights time and time again when everybody else in the division is coming for you constantly?
No, I really love my job, and then when you love your job, you don't work, and I like to train, I like to do my best too in the ring, and you just, be ready for any people, Scott Coker put in my face, doesn't matter going to be a rematch, doesn't matter going to be a new person, but I came to Bellator because I have a lot of girls in my division, and because this I'm here.
The next question is for Arlene. You're fighting one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. How do you get in there and give your best performance on the night?
Well, that's what I've been working on the last 2 years. I've trained, I've prepared, and like I said, I've just got to show up on the night. We've worked on a lot of things to fix mistakes I made in the last fight, but basically just get in out there on the night and fight my heart out, and really just show everyone how much I want that belt. That was the big thing. It's just when you're in there, you kind of not so much forget, but I want to fight hard for the belt and bring it home.
Next question for Arlene on here. You were scheduled to fight your teammate first round of the Grand Prix. I bet that was a bit of a bittersweet moment. Now you have a fight against Juan, like you said. You don't really have any. Do you have any beef with him? I'll say that word.
I don't necessarily have beef with. I don't know the dude. Like, he's up here with moccasins and a poncho on. I don't know the dude. I don't know nothing about him, you know what I mean? But that's like easier for me to fight somebody like that, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure he's a good guy. I don't hate him, but like I would like to fight him. Like I really want to fight him because I don't know him, and like it's exciting to me to fight somebody I don't know.
I will say this, Juan, you have the drip on right now currently. Do you believe you are the best dressed fighter in Bellator?
Always. I mean, look at Ruffian. He's trying to copy my style. So from 2-3 years ago, no shirt on, trying to unbutton his shirt. He's copying my style. He wants to be me. He's trying to be me, right? So I have to switch it up. You got to switch it up. You got to always throw different curveballs when you're in the game.
I appreciate the drip. Thank you so much.
Hey, so my first question is for you, Chris. How much does your religious belief continue to push you to fight?
If I feel my heart, I might continue fight, and I'm going to continue my fight. And I like to share. I think everyone, when I fight, I like to touch your hearts and make the difference and add, bring the light to the darkness. This is my goal.
Thank you. And then for you, Arlene, just what do you take from that first fight that you know that you need to fix, that you can carry onto this fight?
I need to win. No. Basically, yeah. Like I answered with the other questions, I know what I've got to do when I get in there. It's kind of, I've actually haven't really done too many interviews or spoken much about this fight. 'Cause it's kind of like you get over having to talk about it. I don't want to be talking about it. I want to show my actions. I want to get in there. So yeah, it's kind of hard. Like, you become one of those people like, oh, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to throw down hard. I'm going to knock her out. Blah blah blah. Like it kind of sounds like just yeah. Come and watch on the 23rd, and yeah, I want to show everyone what we've been working on.
Yes, everybody have a plan. A, B, C, but first punch, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Question right here for Ruffian. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to expand on, quote, excuse machine. What did you mean by that? Because that's the one thing that seemed to bug Juan a little bit.
Man, if I go through on my Instagram, I got a freaking video of somebody asking. Pretty much, I offered up to fight Juan before the tournament started, before we knew about the tournament, and I offered to fight him in lieu of, or before getting the title. Like, he was the #1 contender, but I had just beat Magomed. I figured I was for the title next. I didn't know anything about the tournament, and I just, I called him out to fight, pretty much, you know? And the first excuse he gave was, I didn't have enough fights. Like, oh, this guy's only got 2 or 3 fights in the Bellator. I had 5 fights. The next excuse he gave was that he spends too much money on his camp. He spends $50,000 on his camp, so he can't fight me because he spends that much money. Then the third excuse was that I fight too often. You know, then he was like, you want me to fight a guy that look on my Instagram. It's like literally like excuse after excuse. So that's the only reason, and that's why I'm coming at him like I'm coming at him, because like, you know, I'm in here to fight the toughest guys, and I feel like he was like running from me from a long time because I didn't have the title. I feel like the only reason he's fighting me now is because he can fight for a title, so he has like an out, like I'm fighting for a championship, you know what I mean? But I fight him, you know what I mean? I chose to try to fight him before, or to even like to forego my championship opportunity, you know what I mean? So that's where it's coming from.
That sounds like an excuse to not fight your teammate who has the belt, if I'm wrong or not.
Yeah, you
right. It sounds like you don't want the title fight. So I said, if you're not fighting for the title and you have the opportunity to be #1 because I just came off a loss and you don't want the title fight, I'll take the title fight more than willingly. Again, Scott Cooker's right here. You could ask him, have I ever turned down a fight that you have given me on a contract? And the answer will be no.
I didn't say you turned down a fight.
I'm taking fights that are #1 contenders. I continue to be a reputable fighter and fight whoever they put in front of me without asking. Again, of course I'm going to sign the dotted line because they sent me a contract and saying, hey, you're fighting Ruffian instead of Magomedov. So guess what? I signed the contract and I sent it right back in. So I don't get the excuse.
Okay. Well, no. This is the last thing I'll say. Okay, and I feel like that's where me and him differ. Okay, I feel like I go out and I'm seeking out fights. I enjoy fighting. He's like accepting what they, you know, if hopefully they don't offer me the fight, you know, and I won't take it. I go out and I seek things that I want. You know what I mean? I want to fight everybody in the division. So I want to fight him. I want to fight every single person in this Grand Prix. Say it again?
But Sergio.
But I agreed to fight Sergio. I don't want to fight Sergio because I know him. He's my bully.
And he has a title in the division. And he's the number one guy in the division.
I
You
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
fight
fight
my boy,
him.
but
So
I'll
guess
fight
what?
for
Now
the
we're
title.
fighting.
True. We're fighting now, so we get to sell it.
To his point, Juan, did you feel like maybe he was beneath you before this interim title?
No, not at all. Rufion's a great opponent, right? He came in. I was hyped up when they signed him, Magomedov, Josh Hill, all the guys that they just brought. I mean, that's why we're doing this bantamweight tournament, right? Like, I want the best in the division. And if it's not this division, I'll go up to the next division. If it's not that division, I'll go up to the next one. I've done it time and time in my career, and I'm gonna continue to do it time and time in my career. I'm the best MMA fighter in the world right now, and I'm gonna prove it come fight night.
Thank you. Guys, we'll do one or two more.
My question's for Chris. There have been two names that have kind of surrounded you for a potential fight, Captain Gano and Kayla Harrison. Do you feel like they both ducked you?
Maybe after our fight there in Link, we can ask this question. I think all the lights for us now in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Any last questions?
Scott, let me ask you something, please. Bellator is getting bigger in Brazil every day. Do you have any plan, any other plans to bring Bellator to Brazil soon?
The answer to that is yes. More news coming.
Chris, how does it sound for you?
This is gonna dream come true, you know. I wanna fight home. It's nice, and the people, the crowd, very nice, and they're gonna be great. Yes.
Yeah, you know, this was something that we were on our way to Brazil and even Mexico to start promoting fights. But we stopped because the COVID situation. We went into the Mohegan Sun, did all the fights internally in the building there with no audience. But we would already be in Brazil, working with Chris and her promotion if COVID didn't hit.
All right, thank you guys. We're actually going to have the fighters square off, and then we'll reset the stage for the next event.
God, that guy in front's gonna kill me.
We're going to reset the stage.